Hey, Nick from Playbook here. Welcome to day 17 of the Playbook project. We're just moving along on our web development, continue to lay the frameworks for different pieces of the UI, structuring the database, structuring how we do tags, and just a bunch of the conditional logic. And so things move along there. I wanted to talk about one of the bigger mistakes I've made, and I've made it a handful of times, related to marketing. So, for those of you that don't know, I'm also the founder of a software company called Harvest Profit, which is a farm management financial analysis tool for small grain and row crop farms in the United States and Canada. So, how about that for a niche product? The definition of a niche product there. But there's a lot of old school marketing in the world of selling to farmers. So radio, billboards, magazines, newspapers, print ads. And so what I've really tried to do is build our business on the back of content marketing. We've written 100 plus blog posts. We tend to hit our email list with some sort of a value added piece of content at least once a week. And so just laser focus on adding value to our user base. But I've gotten sucked in a couple different times on radio ads, for instance, twice. Some newspapers, some print ads, and the ROI on those, is next to impossible to measure. I have tried to use some specific links to isolate the traffic to be able to identify it, but really that brand awareness, that marketing to those large channels that tend to be quite expensive, has proven to be, an utter disaster. And so that is a lesson that the mistake I've made a handful of times. I think I've even probably, for a baseball comparison, I've probably got to strike 4 or 5. And so really need to be laser focused on, we have a small company budget. Those advertising channels aren't bad, but you need to have a large budget. You need to do a lot of it. I'm a big fan of building a brand, and I do think that those large advertising channels such as radio and print and TV can be great opportunities to build your brand. But from the standpoint, in my experience, it just is a complete crapshoot, and frankly, like running into a hurricane forced headwind. And what has worked for us is this content marketing, email marketing, and promoting some blog posts on Facebook. So asking for cold conversions via web traffic has not worked well for us, but getting people on our email list via content promotions, lead magnets and things like that, have worked quite well for us at Harvest Profit. And so really in thinking about what we're going to do and how we're going to market Playbook is, really double down on content and adding value and providing different templates and videos and potentially podcasts to just, touch our potential customer base as many times as possible and at a relatively low cost. And if you're doing it, strictly to add value to your customers, I think that's where the low cost comes in. If you can get a click on Facebook for 3-4 cents, or traffic via Google, organic traffic via Google, that's essentially free outside of the cost of the building the content, I think that is just a home run. And I continue to see small business owners get stuck in this trap. It kind of breaks my heart when I drive by a billboard and I see a random insurance agent has bought a billboard. Like, what an expensive piece of advertising that they likely do not have the budget for. If you're, a top 5 insurance agent in a large metropolitan area, you probably do have the budget to do some of that stuff. But if you're an up and comer, I don't think that that is a high ROI recipe for success. The other thing that I did at Harvest Profit is I started out doing consulting work, and this was high dollar. We're talking, high 4-figure annual consulting engagements, and they were very high gross margin. They were quite a bit of work, and you could only do a certain amount of those engagements. But I did a fair amount of cold calling, and I'm definitely not opposed to doing some cold outreach and kind of hitting the pavement and out talking to customers and doing some face-to-face selling, at least to get some some of that initial traction and some of that sound qualitative feedback on Playbook, and if we are meeting the market needs and hopefully uncovering a couple niches that are looking for a product like Playbook. And so at the end of the day, I have made a number of mistakes in trying to being a goldfish and trying to market in the shark pond of big expensive advertising channels. And I've often said, well, if you get one customer out of this multi-$1,000 ad, it's going to be ROI positive or break even. But really that's not the area where we're going to play. And we're going to play in as much organic content as possible, adding value, and potentially experiment with email opt-in light marketing. I'm a huge fan of email marketing, but with anything, it gets stretched a little thin and the effectiveness goes down. And so potentially just investing as much as we can in different sort of educational materials, white papers, and adding as much value as we can, and just being known as a resource for anybody that's looking to optimize business processes, workflows, checklists, and really spend less time managing those repeatable processes and spend more time on the creative tasks, marketing, selling, the things that really move the needle as far as business value and profitability. So just wanted to touch base on some of these marketing mistakes I've made, and it comes down to playing in the channels that are appropriate for your budget. And I have failed at that. And so if you're following along in the future and you see myself experiment with something like that, feel free to reach out and give me a little tap on the face, via a YouTube comment. I would more than appreciate it. And so really just wanted to share with you that as we continue to move forward and get stuff done on Playbook. So have a wonderful day, and would love to have you check out getplaybook.com, subscribe to our mail list there, and get communication as we move forward and try to launch this software company in 100 days. So as we wrap up day 17, hope you're having a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.